Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something super interesting for all you language enthusiasts out there, especially those of you like me who are obsessed with Japan. We're talking about learning Japanese. I know, it seems like a daunting task. All those weird squiggles and sounds. How could a brain even handle it? Well, fear not, my fellow knowledge seekers. Here are 10 must-know facts about Japanese before you even think about cracking open a textbook. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the Godzilla in the tea ceremony. Japanese is unique in many ways, but one of the most fascinating aspects is its writing system. Japanese actually has 3 writing systems: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Yes, you heard that right, 3. It might sound overwhelming at first, but each system has its own distinct purpose and charm. I know, it sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's not as scary as it seems. Once you start learning, you'll see how they all fit together like pieces of a puzzle. Let's start with hiragana. Hiragana is like the basic bitch of the Japanese writing system. It's the first set of characters that Japanese children learn, and it's used for all the basic Japanese words and grammar. Think of it like the alphabet, but instead of letters, it's got these cute little characters. Each character represents a syllable, and there are 46 basic characters in total. Hiragana is used in many different contexts, from children's books to grammatical particles in sentences. It's the foundation of the Japanese writing system, and once you master it, you'll have a solid base to build on. Next up, we have katakana. Katakana is like hiragana's cooler, edgier cousin. It's used for all the foreign words that have been adopted into Japanese, like computer or hamburger. Katakana is also used for onomatopoeia, technical and scientific terms, and the names of plants and animals. It's a bit more angular and sharp-looking compared to the rounder, softer hiragana. And finally, we have kanji, the big daddy of the Japanese writing system. These are the characters that were borrowed from Chinese, and they represent whole words or concepts. Kanji can be quite complex, with thousands of characters to learn, but they add a depth and richness to the language that is truly unique. Each kanji character has its own meaning and pronunciation, and they are often combined to form new words. Yeah, it's a bit of a trip, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty cool. Learning kanji can be a rewarding challenge, and it opens up a whole new world of understanding Japanese culture and literature. So there you have it, the 3 writing systems of Japanese. Each one has its own role and beauty, and together they create a rich and intricate tapestry of language. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned learner, there's always something new to discover in the world of Japanese writing. So don't be intimidated, embrace the challenge, and enjoy the journey of learning one of the most fascinating languages in the world. Happy studying! Now let's talk about pronunciation. Good news, everyone! Japanese pronunciation is actually pretty straightforward compared to some other languages. Like, have you ever tried to pronounce something in French? It's like trying to speak with a mouthful of marbles. But Japanese? It's like a warm knife through butter. The sounds are pretty consistent, and there aren't that many crazy tongue-twisting combinations. So if you're worried about sounding like a total weeaboo, don't sweat it. Japanese pronunciation is pretty forgiving. Alright, now things are about to get a little bit spicy. Japanese grammar is, well, it's different, like really different from English. For starters, the word order is totally flipped. In English, we say subject, verb, object, but in Japanese, it's subject, object, verb. It's like someone took a sentence and put it in a blender. But hey, that's what makes learning a new language so fun, right? It's like rewiring your brain. Chapter 4. Honorifics, respect your elders and everyone else. Okay, this next one is important, especially if you don't want to accidentally insult someone. When you're in Japan, understanding the cultural nuances can make a huge difference in how you're perceived. Japanese culture places a huge emphasis on respect, and this is reflected in their language through the use of honorifics. These honorifics are not just mere words. They carry deep cultural significance and convey the level of respect you have for the person you're addressing. Basically, honorifics are suffixes that you add to people's names to indicate your level of respect or formality. For example, adding san is a common way to show respect, similar to saying Mr. or Ms. in English. But there are many more, like sama for someone you hold in very high regard, or kun and chan for younger people or close friends. There are different honorifics for different situations, and using the wrong one can be a major faux pas. Imagine calling your boss by a term meant for a child. It would be quite embarrassing, right? That's why it's crucial to understand when and how to use these honorifics appropriately. So, yeah, honorifics are kind of a big deal. They are a fundamental part of Japanese social interactions and can affect everything from business meetings to casual conversations. But don't worry, you'll get the hang of it eventually. With practice and a bit of patience, you'll start to understand the subtleties and use them correctly. And remember, making an effort to use honorifics properly shows respect and can go a long way in building good relationships in Japan. Chapter 5. Loanwords, English words in disguise. You know what's kind of funny? Japanese has borrowed a ton of words from English, like a lot. We're talking words like computer, internet, coffee, hamburger, and even animation. Of course, they don't always pronounce these words exactly the same way we do. They kind of Japanify them, which is actually pretty hilarious. But hey, at least it makes learning some vocabulary a little bit easier, right? Chapter 6. Context is king, deciphering the unsaid. Here's a little secret about Japanese. Sometimes, what's left unsaid is just as important as what's actually said. Context is everything in Japanese communication. Things like tone of voice, facial expressions, and even the situation itself can all influence the meaning of a sentence. It's like reading between the lines, but on steroids. But hey, that's what makes Japanese so nuanced and interesting, right? Chapter 7. Levels of politeness. Choosing your words carefully. In this chapter, we delve deeper into the intricate world of Japanese politeness. Remember how we talked about honorifics earlier? Those are just the beginning. Honorifics are essential, but they are only one part of the broader spectrum of politeness in Japanese. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to politeness in Japanese. The language is deeply rooted in social hierarchy and respect, which is reflected in how people speak to each other. Japanese actually has different levels of politeness in speech, depending on who you're talking to and the situation. This means that the words you choose can change based on whether you're speaking to a friend, a family member, a colleague, or a stranger. There's casual language for friends and family, which is more relaxed and informal. This is the kind of language you would use when you're hanging out with close friends or chatting with family members at home. Then there's formal language for strangers and superiors, which is much more structured and respectful. This is crucial in professional settings, such as business meetings or when addressing someone of higher status. It can be a bit of a minefield, especially for beginners. The complexity of the language can be overwhelming, and it's easy to make mistakes. But with practice, you'll learn to navigate it like a pro. Consistent practice and exposure to the language will help you understand the nuances and use the appropriate level of politeness in different situations. So, keep practicing, and soon you'll be able to communicate effectively and respectfully in Japanese. Chapter 8. Kanji readings. One character, multiple personalities. Remember kanji, those cool-looking characters we talked about earlier? Well, here's the thing. They can have multiple readings. Like, sometimes one kanji character can have 2, 3, even 4 or more different readings depending on the context. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's like each kanji character has multiple personalities. But hey, that's what makes Japanese so challenging and rewarding, right? Chapter 9. Particles, the glue that holds sentences together. Okay, let's talk about particles. No, not the kind you find in a particle accelerator. We're talking about grammatical particles, which are like little words that you add to sentences to indicate the function of other words. They're kind of like the glue that holds Japanese sentences together. They might seem small and insignificant, but trust me, they're important. Get the particles wrong, and your whole sentence could fall apart. Chapter 10. Immersion. Dive headfirst into the Japanese world. Alright, here's the most important tip of all. If you want to learn Japanese, you gotta immerse yourself in the language and culture. Watch Japanese movies and TV shows, listen to Japanese music, read Japanese books and manga, and most importantly, talk to Japanese people. The more you surround yourself with the language, the faster you'll learn. So go out there and embrace the Japanese madness. Sayonara and good luck. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments which fact surprised you the most. Was it the 3 writing systems? The honorifics? The fact that Japanese has borrowed so many words from English, let us know. See you in the next video.